Hello, hello, beeping, beeping, beeping everywhere. Beep, 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 beep. Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mary Jane Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of light coach, and yes, it is Intuitive Astrology Tuesday. Yes, it is, and we are going to go through each of the sun, moon, and rising sign. And I will put it along the little ticker tape at the bottom, and I will put up where it says Mama G Coffee Corner. There, I'll put up what sign I am working on at the time. So I just did a little Facebook Live and talking about the energies of the day and pulling up and looking at my chart that I have. So it is just looking over it. The moon's at 29 degrees Libra, and it's straight across from Uranus at 8 degrees. And as I'm looking, I'm just like Uranus and Taurus wanting to make change. And that's what Uranus does. He wants to make radical, crazy changes in our mundane world. We're seeing it. And this is also radical, crazy changes within our own internal core, within our own internal self. And that's the other part too, where a lot of people don't want to change. They don't want to make that change. They don't want to. They'd rather just sit on and eat their Doritos, or complain that their favorite brand of ranch Doritos were not being made during this pandemic. This is like, okay, let's what else is there in your life? If that's your biggest thing, and everything else in your life is perfect, awesome, God bless you. But I'm going to say probably not. And then also moon squaring over to the three amigos, the Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto over there. And he's squaring off to them, and it's looking at what other changes do you want to make in your patriarchal system, in your mundane, in your foundation. So we have this intensity, and this intensity is only going to grow even more for the week. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for what you need for your own self, your own direction? And how is that going to unfold for you in such an intense time? So let's get into, and we're going to dive right into the energies. I'm going to pull up the comments because I wasn't looking at any of the comments. Hello, hello, hello. I'm Aquarius. Give me some reading. Okay, when I pull you, when I pull Aquarius, you could be first, you could be last, you could be in the middle, you could be somewhere. So it's whenever I pull. So everything is in the little magic goddess box. So it's in the goddess box. All of the signs are here. I saged everything this morning. So, bringing in that vibrations, bringing in the transformations. Vibrations and transformations. Vibrations and transformations. So who are we going to be going for first, and what is going on? Well, let's see. So I got to go here, and I'm going to hide this. Boop, it's hidden. And so I put up who I'm reading for. Whoops, who I'm reading for. What sign? If I can type. Oh, I can't even type. There we go. Okay, so we're going to save that, and we're going to hide that, and we're going to go through. So one day, we will have someone doing this all for me. There we go. So here we go. So here we start. We're going to start with Taurus. Taurus. We are going to start with Taurus. So what is going on with Taurus? Well, Taurus, of course, you got Uranus in there. There's a lot to do with friends and family that are coming in, but it's how you are being seen on the outside world. I mean, this is where we do have that beautiful, timely asteroid Juno that is there with you for the full week, the first full week, in direct motion in your work sector. So there's things to do with your work and Saturn being retrograde in your career sector. So it's that pace, it's that reflection of what's going on and how is it going? How is your confidence when it comes to dealing with your money, to know the difference between what you need and what you want, and looking at that relationship, right? And the same goes for friendship this week. Only people who truly value are worth your time. So this is coming in. Ooh, we got the 12th house coming in for you too. So Tauruses, this is like looking internally. This is overwhelming. This could yield you to a greater power, but I think there's needing some time of reflection, time to really review things that are going on in your life, your money matters, your friendships, other relationships that are happening. It's like really an internal look for yourself this week on how you feel with things. Ooh, feelings for a Taurus. I think sometimes Tauruses might have, it's like feeling, yes, maybe it's like feeling, I got like anger and okay. It's like I got this bolt. But this is like going in, and this is for you to are you being valued with what you are doing? Are you being valued with what's going on around you? And the owl is coming in to give you information. So this is why this internal energy is coming in for you to sort of do some deep reflection and looking into some deep reflection. We have Venus remains retrograde in your ruling second, while Mercury in your third. So this chart begins to retro shadow this week. So this retro light as opposed to the full retro 2.0, which is heading your way. So applying some retro rules on watching, on things and looking up of what is your self-worth. Plus we have this full moon in Sag, which is a partial lunar eclipse. So some things are coming out of the shadows. Some things are going to be hidden. We know that with a lunar eclipse, not everything is being shown, right? So we do. It's like dreams need to be practical. So making that practicality for you. Refinancing, looking at maybe if there's something that you need to refinance. Are you needing to defer payments? Are you trying and really struggling along and really, thinking, I can do it. But maybe you need to enter into some new loans, something to do with money that's coming in. Maybe you need to look at new approaches for things, for how you're dealing with that energy, right? Is this full moon with the nodes change going to hit Sagittarius hard? Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's going to hit very hard. Plus all the other aspects that are going to be going on with that full moon. So that, and how it's going to be actually opposing everything with Venus and the sun. So we have that, and then Mercury slowing down. Because Mercury is going to be going retrograde, right? So Mercury's starting to really slow down. That's where here we're going back to Taurus, that is, avoid a lot of things that if there's anything big that you have to do. This is about going into your self-worth. Money is self-worth. What you value yourself can reflect on what's coming in. If you value yourself low, well, that's what's coming in. If you value yourself as beautiful and wonderful and having that deeper love for self, and it's hard with Venus because Venus is going to get burnt out tomorrow as she aligns with the sun. You won't see her. Like that's called burnt out. So it's bringing in a lot of changes, paying close attention. This is a high intensity week. It's one of the high intensity weeks. This is higher and crazier than when it ever has. Like this is like, I just feel like it's like, oh, we've reached to the craziness now. We reached the crazy party. Yeah, we've reached the crazy party yet. But this is only the first stage of the crazy party. It's like when you just enter into, you're the first one who shows up at a rave. Okay. All right. This is the energy. Taurus, you're the first one that shows up to the rave. And this, I don't know why they're showing me this, but there's some people there and they're kind of raving, they're kind of doing things, but the whole energy hasn't filled up the room yet. That whole craziness hasn't come in yet. And this is where you need to start looking at what is your self-worth. What are your friends? What is practical for you? This is for your gut feelings about who I am talking about. Pay close attention. You have the sun that's squaring Mars in your social sector. So it's like, okay, start taking a look, start looking around. And this is also a serious introspection of looking at things that are deep within inside of you, especially with that full moon. And that full moon, we also have Mars in the 8th house ruling. So Mars hands you confidence. It can also expose your frenemies or your fake friends. So discovering you and don't share. You're going to discover that people that don't share. Here comes the queen in. The queen, this is your queen, Taurus, the queen of pentacles. She knows her value. She knows what she's worth. She's not going to give anybody, if they're being fake to her, she's not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. She's not going to go and bend over backwards. This is the queen. She likes her shit. This is her stuff. This is what she knows. She knows her self-worth. And she's bringing that self-worth in. And this is where I got the dragon cards out, the dragon fae cards out, where the lovers at the feast. Ooh, consciousness, awareness of what you're eating, awareness of what's coming in. Be aware of who's around you. Aware of eating. So who are you eating with? Interesting. Knowing self-worth. Self-worth is coming in very strong for you. And that energy of coming in, of going into that deepness of who you are. Great week for reflection for you, Taurus. Great week for reflection. Great week for you to going in and looking into self and your connections and who truly connects with. And it's like, when I see this card, this Lover Feast card, the picture of the Last Supper comes in when Jesus is having his Last Supper with all his buddies, right? So they're having a party, they're having a feast, they got wine going, they're having fun, they're getting drunkish as they're getting pissed. Okay, so here's Jesus with his best buds, drinking, eating, getting pissed, knowing that this is the last time they can be together in celebration, celebrating. And there's that one person that comes in that he's just like, whoa, something about you, dude. Something about you, dude. It's not alignment. You're not my friend anymore. So looking at that of who you're eating. Yeah, and each one represents the astrology sign. Yeah, they do. So it's going into that energy of what it all means, right? So that's that image when I got for who you eating with, and that's the image I got with that Last Supper. Interesting. Crazy times we're in. But this is really looking into who do you want? Because a lot of times you'll have certain people around you that are not for your highest interest, right? They're not for your highest good. They're out for their own gain. They don't want to they have their own fears or doubts or whatever it is, but that's what you don't want. You don't want to have somebody, if you're wanting to make changes in your life, you don't want to have that person that's going to constantly give you that doubt. So definitely, Tauruses, really know that you are worthy and looking into your own emotional worth. And especially with this eclipses, I just have to say with this eclipses, ask and set your emotional worth higher. So, and to act accordingly if others show they don't value that. So if people are not showing their worth to you or showing that they are true to you, then it's time to say bye, bye, bye. I don't need to be a part of this anymore. Capricorn. Oh, Capricorns. I think you guys are getting so bruised. There's a lot of bruising happening with Capricorn right now, and that's what I'm feeling, is a lot of bruising. You're going through a lot of emotional turmoil at this time because there's a lot of things that, structurally are having to change. And it's big changes that are coming in for you. So if you're continually doing what you have been doing, this is like your outside appearance. How are you appearing? What's going on, right? Is your outside connected to your inside? And what does that inside look like? So if you're outside, if you're constantly just like it's almost where you're, I got like a corpse coming in. So corpse, like inside is all dead, but the outside looks really good, right? So so this is where, to look at that internal self, look at that internal being, right? Of, how can I ignite myself? And Mercury, the planet of communication, is spending a full week coming in with relationships. Wow. Neptune is moving into a final 3 weeks in direction mode in the communication, and Neptune is going to go retrograde too. So soon we are going to have a majority of all the planets in retrograde. So all of this energy that's coming in, all of this energy that's coming forward for us, it's wanting to create something that's new and transformational for you, right? And bring in that newness of transformation. No speak English, little old Mexican lady. So don't mess with anything with her, and don't try and changing up her shit, because she ain't gonna have it. But this is where it's like, it's also where you have no choice. You have no choice. This is where it's, especially if this is involving anyone, like looking at anyone from your past, feelings, family. This is time to take time for your decisions, and allowing yourself to take time for your decision. Of course, you pull your own card, Capricorns, the energy around you, it's serious, right? You got to look at your shrewdness. You got to look at, okay, there's been an avalanche on the side of the mountain that you usually go up. Now it's time to make a different route. You can't go that route anymore. It's been washed away. It no longer exists. You have to start doing some new detours in your life and take time in making those decisions and looking at alternatives with that. You're not very good at looking at alternatives, especially if you've been doing something the same way over and over and over again for a long time. Hence the patriarchal system, right? So it's a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. It's time to look into the peace. You're radiant and attract great love. This is what it is. It's like looking at how things were built in your life, and maybe they were built on your life. Let's say things were built in your life in the 60s, and you still have the same range, the same fridge, and the same air conditioning. You don't even have a microwave yet. You haven't updated any of the electrical. You haven't updated anything, and in comes, and you wanna have a new fridge or a new stove. Well, this is like totally updating everything, totally revamping everything that that means that it could be a whole remodeling, right? A whole remodeling of your whole system, of the alternatives. So this is to look into your shrewdness. This is to look into, looking into things and knowing that there's going to be some hard work, but you're not afraid of hard work. You're not afraid. So this is exploring fresh alternatives. What comes around may need a new response, need something new. So this is really looking into it. And you're radiant, and you attract great love. You can attract those people into and helping you along this way. It's important to open up to this. And, conclusions are within reach. We got a full moon eclipse. Like, you're pulling in all the energy. It's like you're pulling it. I'm pulling in my energy. I'm pulling in all of the energy of the full moon. And this is where you need to look at it. But your backdrop, this, you also, like, please don't, like, hidden truths Hidden truths are coming in for you, Cap, and higher insight. But please don't forget that this also occurs with the backdrop of Jupiter and Pluto in retrograde in your house. And Saturn is in your second house. So simply put, when it comes to your personal goals, nothing is decided, and things may go back and forth for a while. So you're in this energy of going back and forth. Ooh, you don't like that. Nothing decided and things go back and forth. Plus, you have an important eclipse in your mysterious spiritual 12th house. So in comes, this is where you need to navigate. You need to go into. You may not see everything, so you got to trust your intuition and your instincts for you to go forward. And what comes in? Oh, the dry stand. Look beneath the surface. It's kind of like the fool. It's kind of like the fool, the trickster. So there's tricksters that are coming in and around you that are going to maybe pull you here, pull you there. It's like when you go into the forest and I got all these fates coming in saying, over here, over here, over here, over here, over here. So all of these different are trying to pull you in different ways. The trickster comes in, but this is really, really coming in, and you got to go into, because you got to be cautious about your ambition. You got to go into your divine understanding. You got to trust in your intuition. Because the North Node rules karma. What comes around goes around, and it's in Gemini, so it's going to go boom, 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 boom. It's radical change. Radical change for you. And we also have Vista coming in that's going to meet your North Node in here. So this is, with Vista coming in and the Sun and the retrograde Venus meet, there's a lot of releasing that's happening for you this week. And you're afraid to start the journey. You're afraid to start something new. You're afraid. You're afraid. And that full moon reflect into the house opposite you. So it's your emotional self. So it's, the full moon is reflected, for you, your reflection is Cancer. For that full moon, it's Gemini. It's transformation and change. Bringing in transformation and change. And it's a shadow moon. It's a mystery moon. It's in your 12th house. It is about you choosing and thinking. And this is, whether this does you good or not. This is really weighing out. You're coming into a lot of weighing out. And this, I think this also, with this Capricorn energy, because Capricorn represents our us too, as a whole collective, that it comes into our whole restructuring of everything. And what I'm being shown, and this is, I'm just going on a side note right now, and a side note. So it's like a side note on with this energy too. In order for us to make a lot of the changes, they do have to come in on the root level. So your local government, your community, this is where changes make and happen. It has to happen on the local level. And within that local level, within those transformations and changes that come forth, slowly spread out to the others. The one thing that people don't understand, and I'm just going to throw this out at you, whether you agree with me or not, but in order for changes to happen, our system is based on a colonial system. Our system is based on the backs of the unfortunate. Our system is based on racism. That's what capitalism is. It's race. It's based on it. That's how people get their money. That's how things happen. They utilize that and of others, and that's the United States, Canada. We built a railroad with the Chinese. We abused them. We did have slaves in Canada. Our Native Americans had slaves, had black slaves. We also have to look at the whole system of the United States. The basis of the United States was built on slavery. And in order to make changes, and that's part of the Capricorn system and the patriarchal system breaking down, right? Breaking it down, it all has to collapse before it can get better. It all has to, we have to look into new ways of integrating things up. And that's where it comes in. So it comes in with your local level. How are you integrating this renewal within yourself, with those around you? How is it changing within your municipality and going forth with that structure? So they wanted me to say something about that. I'm freezing up, probably because I just mentioned something that I shouldn't be mentioning. Oh, that would be cool if your mama put that cauldron on the stove and summoned up her inner self. A lot of power there. And in comes Cancer. Cancer. Being opposite Capricorn can be a harsh thing, because it's like you have Mercury in there. So Mercury's in there. It's trying to give you the communications, trying to look at, okay, where is it that we need to, move? Where is it that we need to do? So I feel like there's a lot of shakiness within Cancer. It's like they're just like, whoa, I do need to make something. I do need to do things. So this is with the Cancers this week. There's a month-long wind down of your solar year. So we're coming into your birthday time. We're coming in to a time for you of reflection. So maybe that's where this is coming in, of bringing in some reflections and looking at what those reflections for yourself are. This is Venus not only, a little bit of nostalgia, reflection coming in. I got the Six of Cups coming forth. So I do see nostalgia coming in for you of, remembering, but also remembering things. It's hard to say correctly because we all remember differently, but remember things in a unique way. The 10th house, so your achievements, what have you achieved this year? What have you, this is really going over. And this is also where Mars is also bringing in some adventurous energy into you. So I feel maybe it's to go out to the mountains. Maybe it's going for a hike somewhere. This is where this adventure is coming in and taking a little bit of a breath and bringing in that breath and allowing for that breath to come in before you make any new moves. So coming into more of a flow into your life, more into a flow of what's going on, so that you know where to put your trust. You know where to put it, right? You know where to put that breath. So this is where I feel for you, it's like bringing in how you feel within your best guide for direction. You should head, where you should head this week, and the decisions you need to take. So take notes on what feeds your mind, your body, and your soul. Take notes on what's nourishing you and what you need to continue to nourish yourself. It's important to look at that. It's important to look at, okay, this is what I've achieved, but what else do I want to achieve? What else do I want to bring forth into my life, right? Whoops, I didn't change it. Thanks, Candace. See, this is why I need a person here to do this for me. This is Cancer, sorry. So trying to be so professional. It's not happening. There we go. It's Cancer. There you go. Sorry. So this is looking at your whole mind, body, and soul, and head towards what it is that you are wanting to go to. But don't get so hung up on things that it's like you made your accomplishments. Okay, now let's release those so that you can begin to create something even more or something or add on to it, right? And so bringing that forth, right? Oh, I wasn't even reading. I was zoned out when she did that. So when you get into a zone and you're doing it, it's like sometimes I don't see all the writing on the wall. So this is check that internal barometer within you, and ditch the energies that drain you. So this is where I feel like it's really starting out doing something new, and because the answers are coming, the Gemini energy is there for you. So we do have some Gemini energy coming in for you. So this is about your well-being. You are going to be more sensitive than most with this atmosphere. It's really going to be feeling you. So you got to really honor yourself, because you might be feeling very drained with a lot of this energy, and not feeling very perky and wanting to get going. And we do have the new moon Fae. Ooh, so scrying, soul scrying. Soul scrying is taking that internal look of self and really looking internally. And this is really where you pay close attention to your gut feelings. This is where you really go into your energy levels and start dealing with things, or dealing with issues, old issues or people from the past. This is where Mercury starts is it's going to start its retro shadow in your sign this week. So this is where, remember, Mercury rules the 6th house of well-being and routine. So we got to look at Vesta. Vesta is meeting up with the North nodes. So this is also where this could deliver a blast from the past. This could be a lot of overwhelming feeling that you're going to be getting this week, Cancer. This is time to soul detox. This is about detoxing and looking at a soul detox. And with Vesta, that has a lot of links to your well-being. Vesta, she's over there. Vesta should rule our 6th house instead of Mercury. It arrives in our 1st and on our 4th. So it's asking you to examine the efforts of what you do and what you eat, your routine, your whole bit. Changing things up, the thoughts, the habits. This is why they keep saying, if you're stuck on that old accolade or that old achievement, and you're saying, look at that achievement, look at what I did. And it's like from like 5 years ago or 10 years ago or whenever it was. It's like, cool. Now what? Let it go. Let's move on to something new. That's letting go, because you're staying in that energy and you're just wanting to regurgitate it all the time. Yet there's something better there for you, or something more for you out there, and a fear of setting it forth. And with that, we got the Ace of Wands. So setting forth your passion, your ignite. See that wand of God coming in, igniting that of knowledge and understanding for yourself. This is going because your feelings are drained by making, time to bounce back if you have been feeling drained by making bold, long-term adjustments, which free you, because I feel like it's almost like there's a lot of work to be done here. There's a lot of work that's happening here for you. And through this, it's like you got to really understand where your body's going. It's like, even for me, with the changes that I'm making within my own self and the diet, I have to honor myself with how I'm feeling and where my energy is flowing. If my energy is flowing, if I'm feeling sort of drained, okay, what can I do to perk myself out? Maybe I just need a time of breath and know that I'm regaining my second breath, right? So not to be down in the dumps about it. So this is where you're going to get some aha moments, because the sun is also in your 12th, so it's an aha moment. But you must, a moment followed by determination. So it's like you get the aha, you might get feeling a little bit low, and then you take that moment to get your second breath, in comes the aha moment. Then comes Mars and coming in to give you some determination in going forward and knowing that it's there. So doing some deep soul work this week for you, and bringing in that transformation and changes and connections of what it is that you really need in your world. Okay, I will change it. So yeah, I mean, I think for many of us, there is a lot of transformation and changes that are going to be happening for us all, and how we envision our own personal world. And I think that's what we got to go at. How are you envisioning your world? What does that feel like? What does that look like? And in comes Virgo. Virgo always, I feel Virgo, 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 Virgo. Uh, I got Virgos wanting to make the change, but I got them a little, I feel real pissy with a lot of Virgos right now. Um, Kind of bouncing around there. You're looking at the information. You're looking at information. You're wanting to bring in information. You want to bring in clarity. And with the sun and moon will clash as an eclipsing full moon. But for now, it's like, as the sun is heading towards an alignment with Venus in your career sector, I think that's where you're getting a little pissy, because with that alignment, it's coming in with a lot of fury, and almost where it's where you're trying to grasp something that's not there, trying to grasp onto something that's not there. Like it's burning out, so that ignition or something, the ignition is burning out, and you're still trying to hang on to it, but it's not there. It's not there. You can't hang on to it. And that's where Venus is with that sun, because she's making her transformation to the morning star. She's making that transformation to the underground. And as she's making this transformation, it is getting you to feel a little out of sorts. It's getting you, and it's like almost where I feel like with the Virgos, they're like, I'm tired of feeling out of sorts. I want to feel my own self. But sometimes it's not the event itself, but the timing that's going to be significant. And with today, there's two different areas of your life as the moon leaves one area, which is your money area, your income area, and this is going to come in for looking at your money, looking at things that are coming in, and lucrative. So a sense of direction and a boost in confidence. And in this, about income, work, and career fronts, this is looking into where you are wanting to create that abundance, create that of long term. So looking at long term business, family, anything that's long term. So you got the seventh house coming in. So the seventh house is about making it long term, creating long term goals. And this is about past emotional responses that you may have had. So it's time to seek out your inner strength. This is time to, part of this is the confidence to ask directly for a solution you need. This is igniting your own. So it's like where this is being burnt out, this energy, but it's like, okay, there is something here that I can reignite. There's something here I can take stock of and go forward with. And the stars coming in to let you know that hard times are over. to look forward to a lot more and a lot more enthusiasm. But it's getting you to breathe. You got to breathe and look past the initial reaction to your inner strength. This is going in deeply, and ask directly. Ask your guides, ask the people around you. If you're not getting direction at your work, if you're not getting direction within your life, with your family, with your husband, your wife, your lover, whoever it is, if you're not getting direction there, or you're feeling thrown off all over the place, ask. If you're not going to ask, you're just going to fuck yourself, you know? So this is where you need to breathe, breathing space this week. This is where emotional room to move and grow. Get yourself to move and grow. Expand your soul. And this is to welcome in what you truly need to sustain. And this is knowing, it's like many times you reach out for others for answers because you are unsure of your own self. You're unsure, your insecurities come forward. So this is like trusting your own self, trusting that of you, and looking at that. And this is where, you know, Mercury is coming into retro shadow, and old friends connections could appear, but Vesta arrives in this into the energy of into your fourth. So female friends may also feature. It's time to reach out to some gal pals. Maybe you just need to have that connection with some other women, male or female, right? And looking at where everything is going to align for you, right? Because you got to factor in the 11 to 9 degrees in your own chart, in your own sign. So with Gemini, Pisces, or Sagittarius, where this week's full moon is eclipsed on the 5th. So if you have them, then you will feel very emotional. So it's looking at, do you have a chart factors at 11 to 19 degrees? So it's looking at where things are aligned in your chart. So it'd be good to get your natal chart done and look at what's happening between 11 and 19 degrees in your Virgo sign, right? And what that, because that's very emotional area for you. And if you're feeling vulnerable, then ask for directions. Don't expect people to do it automatically for you. You know, your hard work is going to pay off, but you got to look at it and you got to still ask for directions if you're not. Right? So looking at that, because it's emotional signal can be hard to translate at this time. So this is also honoring yourself, because it's probably what I feel with a lot of Virgos, is that there is this huge emotional signal that's coming in for you for doing this, and being more sensitive and intuitive than usual when it comes to tuning in to your needs. And you may not be used to that. You may be not used to that intuition, because you guys are like, do, let's go, organize. Oh, you mean I got to stop and listen and feel? Blah. You got, yes. And Nimue, seeking counsel. I'm like, we got it in the charts, seeking counsel. We got the dragon faith telling you to seek counsel. We got the cards that are saying seek counsel. Why do some astrologers say to listen to your rising before rising moon and sun? To listen before the moon. Oh, because that's what you're rising towards. That's what you're accelerating towards. So whatever that rising is, right? So rising is to look at, so your rising sign. So my rising sign is Cancer. So I am having to look into more of my emotions and how I am feeling. So what is your rising sign? That's what you got to look at. Your sun sign is here I am. Look at me. I'm the sun. Moon sign's internal, right? So that's what that means. And going on, balance. Here you go, Virgo. You got the mixologist. The mixologist comes in and she is about balance, bringing in the balance in your life. What is that balance? What does it look like? Be aware, however, that if you do have factors in Gemini, a lot of Gemini energy in your chart, this may affect work and career. So looking at your career to date and coming up with a plan is your best course of action. So if we're talking career or even status as in your job title, public, personal title, this always ties into a sense of stability and security. So it's hard work. There's a lot of energy that's coming in to bring in some hard work for you. And keep, with Venus retro means love is on hold. So don't break any retro quarantines now. So if you do, you are likely to end up feeling very gross and stuck. But this is a lot of emotional strength that's coming in. You got this. You got this. The energies are there for you. But if you're needing help or guidance with something, if you don't want to go out and talk with anybody, do your I was gonna say, do your fucking prayers. Do your prayers. Bring in your crystals. Look into counsels. Look into your intuition and do the work. All with love and light. All with love and light. Because sometimes it's like you'll ask for help, but it's fine. Okay, cool. You're asking for help. I'm glad you're asking for help, but you know. So this is bringing it in, bringing that energy in. Does the rising Virgo rising associated with healing hearts, healing arts? Virgo rising, I think, would associate with how you are feeling internally and what's your internal talk. How are you feeling about self and how that self is? Virgo is the virgin, standing in your power, coming into your power. So if it's your rising, are you standing into your power of who you are? Are you standing into the truth of who you are? Because the Vescal Virgin is all about stepping into her power of who she is or who he is. Doesn't matter, right? So, if for you standing in your power has to do with your going into healing, then that's what it is. But it's also standing into other parts of yourself and that internal talk, because Virgos have a huge internal talk and they usually talk themselves out of things or they're all dressed up to go out. This is a Virgo talk. So Virgos are talking to themselves and they're all like, oh, I look all dressed up. They put on their best dress. They got the makeup done, hair, and they're just like, oh my God, this is the internal. Oh my God, look at that. My hair's out of place. Oh my God. Oh, maybe I just don't look so good in this, or oh my God, my feet are too big for this dress. Whatever. That's their internal talk. They have some crazy talk sometimes. But so it's quite funny to, for what it is. Waiting for Virgo to end. So this is, it's finding a balance, getting your balance, getting your prayers, following your intuition, and things are going to come together. But you got to, I feel like I just keep on saying to a lot of Virgos, if you're needing counsel, reach out to whoever you want to reach out for counsel or a friend or what have you. Aquarius. Whoo! Well, we got Saturn there at 1 degree. You're sitting in there with joint ventures, wanting to make something happen there. We have a lot of clashes with the moon over the weekend and nearing halfway point of this nearly 7-week visit to your income sector. We have where the full moon, we got this full moon in your career sector. So we got a lot of energy coming in with income and job front. Returns, reconciliation, balancing karmic books. You got that square over with the moon today, which is making a little bit of havoc over there to Saturn. So understanding the past doesn't mean repeating it. Starting new karmic chapter. So this is like, there's a lot of things that are coming in for you of restarting. So carrying we also have about carrying those retro rules with you now. But it's like you're needing a reminder. You're needing this reminder. So you also have Jupiter, the planet of expansion opportunity, in retro in your 12th. We along with Pluto, so we have Saturn retrograde in your 1st and Venus retrograde in your 5th. You got a lot of energy that's going on there, Aquarius. You got a lot of things that are going on there. And there's nothing new under the sun for you. So however, something can be reborn into the newness if you want. This is reruns and returns. So karma's at work here. You got a lot of karma work going on with you. It is an unfinished business between you and someone. So there's things that need to be, books are needing to be balanced, right? Looking at, here comes the sun. The sun's in Gemini. You kind of get pissy about Geminis. I'm just like, Aquarius, it's like, because you're a fixed sign, you're here, you're fixed. Geminis are very mutable. They're going to say things to you off the cuff. They don't give a fuck what they just said to you. And they're going to just say it to you. And you get all pissy because that's not the way you want it. And, here comes, Gemini's like, I don't give a fuck what you think. This is what you're being an idiot. Poof, they're gone. What do you mean I'm being an idiot? This is what I believe in. They start, but here comes the sun. This is bringing in your purpose and your destiny. Looking at where the sun is now. The sun is in Gemini. The sun is going to be there until the 24th. Is it the 24th? No, that's Leo. I'm looking at the Leo from the Cancer sun, but it is going to be there till the 21st, 22nd. So here it comes. So this is like, it's just be mindful that simply because they come back or something comes back doesn't mean it's a good thing. Watch around because we've got Vesta meeting your North Node in your 5th, and the sun meets retrograde sun in your 5th. This is all your internal stuff, right? All your internal stuff that's coming in. And you may find that any old issues that were there before are still present. So things are still, the sun's shining a light on all of those little bits and pieces that you don't want to look at. And this is time to look at some of those bits and pieces because this week also brings in a full moon eclipse, right? In your 11th, on the 5th. So there's a lot of 5s coming in you. That's transformation and change. Transformation and change is coming in. And goals and also friendships may get tested during this time. The 22nd is Cancer. Yes. So Cancer is coming in. That is the 22nd. So the summer solstice goes between the 21st and the 22nd. Okay. So that's the summer solstice. So there's a lot of change and transformation between now and the summer solstice. What are those changes that you want to make? What is that you want to do between now and then? This is about looking at it. So past friends or even lovers could re-enter your life. This is that moon will shine a light across all of those things. All of that energy that needs to be released. You may not want it. You may not want it. And with that full moon is this Friday. It's going to be a bitch. It is in Sagittarius with the South nodes. And this is looking at a lot of energy there. And this is not a good time, however, to enter. If you're going to enter any financial agreements, no. And look at this. I'm holding this card. I'm like, what's happening here? Take care immediately. Here comes the devil. Avoid temptation and deceit. The devil's coming in along with the sun. So we got the sun and the devil. The sun and the devil coming in for you, Aquarius, wanting you to make transformation and change. This is about you looking, and the moon triggered a T-square between the sun in your fifth and Mars in your second. So that T-square triggered a lot of energy that we had last week. That grand trine and mutability. I said it's going to make radical changes. Here's Aquarius. I'm still going along. I don't want to change. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to form where I'm going to form. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But you're getting pushed to the other side and say, no, that's not where you're going to go. That's not where your true self is. This isn't your true self. You got to come into your true self of who you are and bring that in. And don't let pride get in your way. Here comes the Leo. Leos are prideful, right? They're that lion. Here they are. They're the sun. Fucking sun keeps coming in for you, Aquarius. That means you got to get into this energy of Gemini that's coming forth right now in order to bring that changes that you want. And it's going to happen. Actually, I feel like it's going to happen whether you want it or not. Bringing it in whether you want it or not. And through this, gotta love who you are. Gotta love who you are. Bring in that love. Bring in that love. Bring in that love. And this is where it is. It could just be something. It's not something money can buy. So this is really looking into your fulfillment. What fulfills you? What fulfills you? And with that, you got to balance it all out. Balance it all out. You got to look at it. It's like your past reappears. Why is it reappearing? Why are things keep coming up? Because you haven't dealt with them. You haven't dealt with that shit. So you got to deal with that shit. You got to forgive it. You got to let it go. You got to get into your sun. You got to be truthful. Geminis are truthful. Sometimes they're too truthful. Scorpio's truthful too, but Scorpio does it like when that moon goes into Scorpio and you got that sun in Gemini. Whoo, Lordy. Aquarius, you guys are going to go through some crazy radical changes that are saying, what is my truth? What is my destiny? Where do I want to go? How does that feel? And where am I going to be heading? Being truthful to you. A lot of karma is coming in for you too. And karma is neither good or bad. Karma is just a releasement. Are you going to repeat this? Cool. Repeat it. Stars. And Taurus is one of the stars, I believe, that are in Scorpio. I think that's, if I'm right. I think it is in Taurus. I've been talking about it this week. I should know. Let me pull up my notes. Yeah. Got to do it over here. Yeah, it's on Taurus, the big red star. It's the star of war. So it's the huge star that comes in. So yeah, and Taurus. And I was talking about it because it's opposite the star of Archangel Michael. So which is a defender of the East. And being the defender of the East. So there is that defense of the East, right? So being opposite there, so they're both defending. That's where separation is right now, because they're both defending. Now, and Taurus, even though it is a huge star, like it's a huge red star. It's got a lot of power, and it is a very bright star. It's a fixed star, but it is bringing in change and transformation. It is that of bringing in war along with Mars, right? So where Mars is heading right now towards Neptune and going towards, it's going to be in Aries for 5 months once it hits Aries. So when Mars goes into Aries, it's there for 5 months. It's going to be there till January and retrograding in Aries. So that is war. Mars in Aries, Mars retrograding, that's war. War can mean many different things to many different people, right? So this is why it's all about our transformation and change within us. And looking at it, right? And looking at that transformation. And war is always transformational. War brings in transformation, each time. And this is heading into it, but you won't feel any fullness. I mean, we still have Taurus, and we still have Uranus in Taurus. Uranus in Taurus is preparing us for everything, having us make the changes, having us do the changes. That's where he was in the 30s, right? Making, getting people to awaken, change up. Let's do things differently. And making changes in the world. Making those changes, but the changes have to be the way the world is now. The changes have to be radical. And I'm just saying, it's just that's the way humans are. We can go with it, like a lot of spiritualists. They like to sugarcoat things, and they don't like to look at things with some reality. A lot of them want to go in and say, let's have a lovin'. A lovin's fine. It's great. And I believe that lovins are great. And here, who wants a lovin'? Libras want a lovin'. Well, Libras love to have a lovin'. But, but Libras also have a sword. They have the scales of balance. They have the scales of justice, right? They have those scales. But they also have where they also have the sword of justice. So what is the sword of justice, and what does the sword of justice mean to you? Now with Libra, as Libra's coming in, especially this week, it's looking at it, and with the moon there right now, it's squaring off over to the internal core of your Jupiter and Pluto. What is that? So Libras are really looking into what is that internal balance you need for self. What does that look like? What does that feel like? How am I going to create a harmonious world in my life? And where it's like where Mars will be leaving at the end of this month out of Pisces into Aries. This is going to be where it's going to be giving a lot of passion for them. It's going to be also bringing in a competitive spirit and need to get things in order, need to get things done. Now, when Libras are wanting to get things done, when they're in that mode of getting things done, they're getting things done. They're moving what needs to be out of their way. And that's what, but the thing is that they just don't use the sword just because. And that's where they're at. So I feel right now it's like Neptune moves into a final 3 weeks into direct motion, but is quietly applying the brakes. So, Libras are feeling that. It's like, okay, what about my dreams? What about my ambitions? What's going on? Jupiter there is about courage and self-belief, but it's retrograde in right now for you guys for you Libras, like it's retrograding in Capricorn, and the moon's squaring it off. So it's all about that internal depths and transformation that needs to be happening for you. So there is a continual download. You're getting downloads of information that are coming in that you need to process and unwrap. And you need to allow for that processing and unwrapping, because there's a wealth of valuable clues that are coming in there for you. and bringing you some insight and hunches that you need to deliver. But it's also important not to rush this process, but it's especially so this time as the moon wraps up its first visit with Juno, since it turned direct in Libra. So this is all bringing about harmony and wanting to bring in that harmony, want to bring in that of that truth. But you're going to explore the link between what you have to do and how you feel this week. So downshifting into the me, into could I hand you back that precious time and energy? So this is looking into this, shifting gears, shifting this energy, this internal peace, right? This is about looking at to positive energy that surrounds you. There's a lot of love and joy and good fortune that surrounds you. But it is a career, looking at your careers back and forth between now and maybe next month as Mercury is in retro shadow. So this is, changing roles, minds, nothing to be decided. This is this is looking in and taking some love for self. A lot of downloads I feel Libras are getting right now. So this is going to head towards what frees you, where you want to be exalted. And before it does, we have Vesta meeting that North. Vesta with that North node is going to cause a lot of animosity in there. And this is where, the sun meeting with the Venus, and that's tomorrow. That alignment is going to really, put in some changes. Now you are Venus, Libra. Libra is a feminine sign. It is that coming into exaltation. It is coming in to that wanting to extend to that higher part of Venus, right? Looking at that connection of energy with the divine. So mistakes and accidents can occur, but also feeling of being constantly tired. So if you're running or hurrying, you got to slow down, because you're going to run into something. You could injure yourself because you're being stupid or silly. I shouldn't say stupid. You're being silly. You're acting manic. So this is where, also working from home or self-loathing. You got to get out. You got to look at. I feel like I just want to put you by a creek and sit on a rock, because you are achieving. There are achievement of goals, but you don't see it or you don't feel it at this time. But you need to recharge. This is a recharging for you. And because there's a lot of downloads and information, and the sword is up. So when the sword is up, you're receiving messages of God. And in comes the Lady Luna's magic. Oh, synchronicities with the moon, Luna, bringing in that beautiful energy. Look at her. Look at that beautiful dragon. Ah, man, power. Power's there. Power's there. Bring in that power. Guide yourself right now. This is power. This is bringing in power and transformation. This is allowing for you to look at it. Your insights were going to be your best guidance. Trust it. Trust it. This is bringing in the Four of Pentacles, right? So what are you hanging on to? Money's flowing. Money's coming in. The energy's coming in. But where are you hanging on too tight, and where do you need to let go of? Jupiter wants to expand, although he is right there with Pluto. Hard to expand. He's in with the bad uncle. That's, the two of them together. Like Jupiter is like, okay, well, I'll be the bad uncle now. I'll be Uncle Jupe. I'll get you in the backyard. Come on. Here. I'll give you some stuff. I'll get you into some hallucinations here. Neptune's over there. Neptune's going to be slowing down and saying, yeah, you want to go and you want to take a crazy dream with me? Let's go. So we have this energy of wanting to take crazy dreams and transformations for you, Libras. And with that, it's like, when was the last time you smelled the roses and got connected? Newbie here, could I please have a reading? I am doing a reading. This is my intuitive astrology, and I'm doing a reading for your sun, moon, and rising signs. So if you look at the bottom, those are the signs that I've done already. And I'm drawing them out of my little hat here and bringing in bringing that. So that's what I am doing. If you are wanting a personal reading, a one-on-one reading, I have my readings are on a sliding scale from $50, $90 to $160. Pay what you want from $50 on up. It's up to you, and the readings are all the same. You know, you just choose what reading you'd like to get. So, Libras, got to take stock. You got to look at things in a way. You're getting a lot of downloads, a lot of information. You got to take that energy, right? You got to be able to get yourself grounded and really take things in at a new way. So take nothing at face value this week. The truth, when it does emerge, may look very differently. So look at that. So this is all about reveals, indecisions, delays could feature this week too with you and that moon. So really taking your time, and hence in a lot of career factors and looking at your career right now impacting on you this week. So we got a lot of like coming in and downloads coming in. So journaling, meditation, getting out, connecting with nature is very important. Whew. Who is next on the roster? Who is next on the roster? What is going on? Crazy energies. Whoop. What changes do we need to make? So many. Here we come. Here we go. Where are you? There you are. Yeah. Sagittarius. Ba 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 ba. Sagittarius. Well, you're eclipsing a full moon this week. A chance now to start rallying your support system. This will be a first lunar eclipse since the South Node entered into Sagittarius. We also know that will be personally empowering, and this could fuel some strong emotional responses and cause a few speed wobbles that are going on. So there's a lot of social and serendipitous lunar vibes that are coming in and are helping you to connect with people that you need to connect with. This is about, maybe things are going to be reappearing, past people reappearing. What's different this time around? Well, it's up to you. You could say yes, or you could say no, this is not it. Could be a time for really releasing a lot of old wounds. And Jupiter is also there retrograding in your money house. So Venus will, which rules this, is also coming in and she's retrograde. Mercury's coming into shadow and will be retrograding. So we got a lot to do with money, house of sex. A lot of sex coming in for you, or no sex coming in for you. This is like, I should therefore not need to oversell the point of love and money. Matters are most definitely on hold because of everything that's going on right now. This is like looking at things. So this is the superpower of because of all the retro shadow. So reframe, revive, renegotiate. It's a superpower right now for you. And well, new love is a no-go area because of Venus retrograde. But it's like you don't want to stay still. You're constantly moving, right? That's very Sag. Constantly moving, constantly going. It's like, how is this being seen? How is this going on? The first house also has to do, how were you raised? What was going on? And how that still relating to how you live your life now or not? So this is about reframing. You could be looking at something you loved, or something or a work opportunity. There is something that, maybe somebody who's returning from the past could be coming in. This is about looking at a lot of fire. So letting go, to let go. So fire's coming in for you. Fire Fire is rebirthing. Fire is change, transformation, right? You know, and looking at a lot of energy that's coming in. Looking at that energy that's coming in. I don't understand why my last comment was hidden as abuse. Oh, I don't know either. Um, so, so this is coming in to bringing in something that is change, change. Vesta is coming in there. Vesta's there. Vesta's coming in. The sun meets this retro Venus in here. You could be looking at I just feel like there's a lot of past coming up and that you're just burning it off. And this is going into that it has to do, because the first house also has to do with not only how we appear, but it also has to do with how we were raised, things that happened in our past, and things that we keep with us. So this is looking at maybe things or parts of us that we can embrace the renewal, embrace some renewal and allow, but also allow for things to be let go of. And this is where you got to work through your fears. Working through your fears right now is very important with this full moon. Looking at them. This is your, this is Scorpio. Looking at it. What is that fear? What is that's holding you back? Because you're moving around. You're moving around a lot. You're trying to do things, but there's some things on hold that you can't do. There's things that are on hold that you want to do, that you want to get going. You want to have this happen, but it's like you're being caught. You're being caught in sort of a cage, and you don't want to be caged up. You're not very good at being caged up. You're mutable. You want to launch. You want to relaunch something. There could be a relaunch of something or a revival of something. Allowing yourself to look at that with fairness. Maybe there is something from your past that needs to be relaunched, something from your past that you've hidden away that needs to come out. Maybe there's a part of you that's been subdued or pushed away, and now it's being triggered for you to come out. So you got to listen, sacred silence, listening to the sacredness, listening to that internal talk. What is it? There could be something that's coming in there to revival, something to revive that you've had hidden, or you were not allowed to do, or you need to come out and express it in some way. And this is Page of Pentacles. So it's about your mundane world. So it's something new to come into your mundane world, into this world. What do you want to bring in? What is it that you've had hidden for a while that you want to bring in? And this could have to do with collaborations, relationships. It could be a relationship that you've been hiding. Is it emotional, valid, and recognition? How about rebalancing? Maybe some domestic matters that need to be rebalancing. It's all important. It's all about your freedom. It's all about your movement, how you're able to move. If you're feeling very caged, there's something there that's holding you back. What is it? You got to work through those fears. Listen to that inner silence and allow for things to be burnt away for you this week. And with that moon is going to bring in higher intensity for you. So there you go, Sag. Ooh, who's up next? Crazy order everything's coming in today. That's what happens when I sage them, right? Aries. Whoops, it didn't show up. I'll do the chat and it's not showing up. It's like starting the chat. It's like starting the chat before the team comes out, and like it's like, oh, where are they? So we have a few left. We have, after this, we have 4 signs that are left. So stay tuned. Stay tuned if I haven't called you. Stay tuned. We have Aries. transformation and change. You rule the first house. You are the spark, you are the ignition. There is a lot of anticipation, suspensefulness, that's coming in. It is pending a kind of calm before the storm. And that's what you're feeling. There's a calm before the storm that's coming in. And we have this internal talk. So this is, I think this is a week for you, Aries, to taking your spark and bringing in some fun, bringing in a little bit of playtime for you. And this is where, your sixth sense. So there's a massive moment that's underway for a huge change for you. And this week is, this is why I want you to bring in the play, because there's restlessness and hungry for something that takes out of your ordinary. And this escape route is there for you. So you got to shake it up. Shake up that dull routine. It's allowing for yourself to shake it up, do, shake it up. Get out there, shake, dance, do that. Make time for what you want to do. This is about love. Get back into touch with things that you love to do. Reclaiming that dream. This is that fun, bringing in that fun, because it's a calm before the storm. It's like, yeah, let's just, it's like, yeah, we know we got exams, but we're going to party this weekend. Study tomorrow. So reframe those roles. This is looking at who does what around your house. This is looking, Vesta's entering in there, talking about what's fair and may feature on that day. So looking at all of that. Some of you may hear something in a blast from the past, some good news. You have been waiting for finally arrives with that sun and with that retro Venus. So something good could come in, right? And this is where, hence, you may shaft at what restricts you now. So if you've been feeling restriction, it's like, no, it's like long distancing and lockdown, which is why, narcs are around domestic duties may surface, right? So this is like, fuck you. I'm going to go do what I want. This is like, you got to go into this deepness. This is for you to expand your soul. This is bringing in that expansion. Of course, love comes in. There are two paths ahead, and you got to be true to yourself. This is truth. This is allowing for that truth to come in and releasing what needs to be releasing. So this is also, because we got Mars. Mars is getting close. Mars is going to be in your sign for 5 months. He's going to be home for 5 months. They're never home. He's never home for 5 months. Never. So this is the first time. I got to look up how many years that it's been that he's been home for 5 months. So it is. This is all about a release into something that's bigger. And it's the ending. So there is an ending of a cycle. So the full moon in Capricorn. So there's an ending of a cycle. So there's some time for celebrating. But I still feel there is a calm before the storm with all of this. Something that's calming, something that's sort of, that there's something that's big that's coming in. But know that if you begin to play, if you begin to ignite, if you begin to allow these new routines to come in, that you will ignite. You will ignite. There's a brilliant solution is on its way. It's going to come in. And the Queen of Cups, yes, it's going to be emotional, but she knows her emotions. She knows where she stands. She knows how she feels. She knows her own self. And she's going to bring it in. So bring that transformation and changes in. Allow yourself to have some fun this week. There is where, all work and no play makes Aries a very dull indeed. So we all know that's not you. So bring in that fun. Bring some fun in. Enjoy this week as we're heading into a little bit more of the craziness of what's going to be happening next week. We're not going to talk about next week. We're going to get through this week. That's what we're going to do. We're getting through this week. Who is next? Who is next? Let me pull it up here so I have it. It's Leo. So for yes, Jello shooters are being thrown around for Aries. Yes, go for the Jello shooters. I said party, didn't I? Leo. Oh, at the same time, that dreamy Neptune is already slowing down as she moves into the final 3 weeks. In your financial sector, Mars is fired up as he clashes with the moon over the weekend. And Mars, warrior planet of the cosmos, not return to your financial sector for another 3 weeks. But we have Neptune puts the brakes on, and Neptune and Mars are going to be meeting up quite soon here. And Mars wraps up an important monthly visit and communication. So we have for you, it's back to love kind of week for you. Steer clear of anything new. Instead, re-explore things that you love. Don't be afraid to go back to a beginning of something if you need to go back to a beginning to relearn something or revive something. This is about revival. Feeling your revival of truth. Make love wait for you. And this week brings you that eclipsed moon and all those things, those closeness that's close to you in the heart. I love this energy of with Leo. It's very romantic. It's got this variety. I'm getting a lot of very big flowers and peonies, and a lot of blossoms are coming in for you. So there's a lot of beautiful potential here. And with Mercury retrograde begins in your 12th on the past of the past on the 2nd. This is a retro light, but it can also deliver you a little snafus and delays. But with Venus, even though that she's retrograde and she's burning out, there's things to get in touch with. I think there's things that you need to prove have changed for yourself. So there's this feeling within inside of you of wanting. It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful feeling. It's a very calmness, but you know that there's things that you need to get done. And in comes the Gemini. It's to stimulate you, to get you stimulated, to get you going, to get you vibrating, to say, yeah, this is really what I need to vibrate. This is what I need to make changes in. Don't dismiss what you're feeling with Vesta coming in. And even this goes against what other people may be telling you. So this is looking at how you hope things are. This is the day before the eclipse. So we also have, it's a foreshadowing of what the eclipse may bring. So there's energy that's coming in, and we already saw partially what the eclipse will be bringing into the consciousness. But for you, Leos, this is really looking into a reality check with this, because there's this calmness. So I feel like this I got a lot of pinks and purples and very Victorian type of energy coming in. So there is this energy that's coming in, but I feel where a lot of times there's a complacency that's there, and you're being a little bit too complacent, and you need to come into this reality check. And the eclipses rarely deliver the message exactly on the same day. So remember that not all the information is going to come in that day. It's going to take 6 months. So tune into your insight and trust your guidance for all of this. And Gemini's coming in to get you to take a look at different ways, right? And take things in, because you got to be open to new possibilities. That's why Gemini's coming in. It's getting you to look over here, go over there. What's this? What's that? Moving you around. What does air do to fire? It gets it ignited. So as this energy of Gemini comes in, I go, big flames are coming out of this campfire. So this is bringing in, where you need to trust your gut. Trust your gut. Communication is the key. Gemini, you got a lot of fucking Gemini energy coming in, Leo. There's a lot of igniting, a lot of transformation and changes that are coming in, but I still feel like this very Victorian energy. But again, is that complacency of that energy? And you're being too complacent? So this is where, because Venus, which rules love and love life, is wondering, have you, could be wondering, have you, something in this situation, right? And this is bringing in, where do you have a strong hunch about something or someone? Is there something or someone that you need to connect with? Emotional entanglement is coming in. Blah. So resist the urge to splurge. Because there is this indulgence, that gorgeous, glittering, glamorous energies coming in, designer shoes and clothing and all of that fun stuff. But this is about falling out of love with some of the stuff that you've been in love with, or so-called in love with. And that's where that Gemini in the world, because Gemini in the world, that's igniting. That's igniting. This is igniting energy. This is igniting things like, so when Gemini comes in, Gemini is like igniting new technology, new energy, new ways of learning, new pathways, taking on a subject that you want to learn about. So learning something new. And in this, it is being joyful. So I find that joyfulness coming in for you. And I think that's what you got to take heart to heart. Take that to heart. So this is bringing in, taking things to heart, spending some time with your child or inner child, spending some time in that, in the simplicity. And I think that's why this age comes in, because the Victorian age brought in some radical changes, and changes, with medicine, changes in the Industrial Revolution, cars, electricity. From the Victorian age, they went into the Edwardian age. So really fastly wanting to make things change. Heating in the house. So a lot of things from simplicity got changed very quickly. So, if you're always used to a wood stove and, just getting up in the morning, doing your routine, and all of a sudden that's not there anymore. So looking at that routine, looking at those changes that are happening in your life, and maybe some of them you want to keep. Maybe there's something there, right? Because then you can celebrate and bring in that celebration. Bring in that celebration and change and transformation. The Wands is there. Fire is there. Six of Wands is fire. So bringing in that fire and passion of what you want to celebrate, what you want to do, along with that Gemini energy of change, radical change coming in. There you go. Whew. We got Scorpio in the house. Whew, Scorpio. Wow. Oh. Well, there's a lot of, I'm just like Scorpio. I'm just like, wow. Mars is coming in, and Mars will spend 8 months rather than 6 weeks fixated on different areas of your life. Mars being one of the co-rulers of your sign. So this Mars is returning to a very busy energy and busyness, and not leaving that busyness. So you're going to be busy until 2021. So here we come. Mars is coming in to create things busy for you. And I mean, you got to make sure that you're grounded with all of this, because Mars is not gentle. So if you haven't worked with a lot of Mars energy, Mars comes in with a lot of radicalness. He's a warrior, right? He's going to come in and he's going to do these things. And with that moon that's coming in to, is going to push some buttons that are going to come in. So you're going to feel very emotional up until this full moon. So this moon is going to push a lot of buttons, right? A lot of buttons are going to be coming in, and it's not good to push Scorpio's buttons. Bitchy Scorpio can be a dreadful one, but this full moon asks that you look at what you believe you deserve this week. What do you believe you deserve? So this is looking at what's going to be also unfolding over the next 6 months with these eclipses, right? So this also is like about your feelings and how you've been treated by others on a personal level, from your bank account to the bedroom. It's working on your worth. What are you worth? What's going on? How much more do you want to start investing in yourself? Having an alternative plan. How you've been treated, is going to be saying a lot. And here comes Chiron. Chiron's in Aries. So your Mars is going to be meeting up with Chiron. Chiron is the shamanic healer. He was a warrior. He was a warrior that became immortal, and now he is that of the healer. So this is healing ability that's coming in and teaching you something new. So there's teaching you new remedies, new ways of doing things, and allowing yourself to be open to that changes and transformation that's going to be coming in, especially since Mars is going to be in there, once he's there for a long time. But until then, he's in Pisces, and he is really looking into and trying to get you to your higher self of transformation and change into what does that mean without getting delusional and going into the delusion of things. But it's hard because, the thing is that, when I say that, Scorpio is the one that can bring in delusion very easily for people. Scorpios can bring in and take you to that underground and say, hey, which one do you want? Are you sure that looks good? Are you sure that's really what you want? Really? That is the Scorpio. And in comes the snake. Your intuition, healing powers. A lot of healing coming over this week for you. A lot of healing and transformation that's coming in. And this is about your self-worth, sharing how you are treated by others. And this is going to be bringing in, how do you want to be treated by others? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And experiencing and continuing it as Mercury will be going into retro. So I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. So this is, looking at things that mass transportation, but you might be going on trips or something, but it might be short trips. I can't see anything international going on. Astrology isn't, this isn't meant to be scary, but it does give us a heads up for when we may need alternative game plan. So, or just be prepared. This especially applies to your money this week and your self-worth. Do you need to set a few new values, especially how others see you and equally treat you and pay or regret? So this is looking at, are you getting paid for what you are doing? And showing the world the real you, bringing out the realness of you. This is the real you. This is who you are. You're worthy. Are you being worthy? Ideas about, are you being worthy? This is your worthiness. This is coming in to embrace your what you're deserving. Ooh, and of course, justice will prevail. Look at her. Look at that. That is such a Scorpio energy right there. Right there. That is so Scorpio energy. Coming in, transformation, change, coming into healing, standing up, going into your internal core, your worthiness, standing up for yourself. This, hopefully that's the best, this is the best energy for you. It's not it's not your expectations accordingly. If it's not your expectations accordingly, then it's best gone. All reflect your own beliefs and what you deserve. So this is all to do with your emotional level, your talents. There is a busyness that's going to be coming in once Mars goes in there. Mars will be going in there in July. So as Mars goes in there, so we're going through June. We got to get through June and the rest of the energy, or it's going in anyways. It's as this transformation and changes and meets up with Neptune, it's looking at your higher spiritual self and where you want to take yourself. That is your worthiness. That is what you need. Right? That's what it is. That's what it's all about. That's about the transformation and changes that need to be happening. It is in your higher self and your spiritual self. Are you taking that seriously? Are you taking that? Because when you do, you're going to be allowing yourself to get out there and celebrate, to come together, to bring in that community, to bring in that transformation of what it is that you so desire. Scorpio, you're really bringing in, and you're bringing in that change for others, right? And pushing others to do the same. And pushing those borders where the borders need to be pushed. So you are that of change and transformation, and bringing that change and transformation for you, right? Patched up. Then Vindot? I'd have to look into that. Could not, Suman, I cannot answer you right now. I'd have to look into that and sort of. My first response to that was a yes. Like my internal energy said yes. So here we go. So Pisces, and then I'm sorry to tell you guys, Gemini's the last. Gemini will be last. Not that I made it that way. I do not make it that way, but I think because you guys are such in anticipation of it all, right? Neptune. So your ruling planet will only return to Pisces once every 150 years. In the past, Pisceans have gone a whole lifetime without ever having a direct access to their planet of dreams. So that changed in 2012. So when Neptune returned to Pisces for the first time and only time in our lifetime, and as he moves into his final 3 weeks in direct motion, it is with a sense of confidence. With Mars on board until the end of the month, this frees Neptune to focus on dreams and the warrior planet on how to turn your dreams into reality. This is like you are in between. You are in between. You and your energies are in between that of Saturn and that of Uranus, of making those dreams, bringing them down into the mundane world and changing that of what is no longer needed in your realm. So this is bringing in some looking at where you might be expected to give too much. This is looking at and rebalancing things in your life and turning, asking others are making of you, are they turning out to be one-sided? So are people just taking more from you than they should? So this is making things right in your life. This is allowing for you to really go deep into your dreams. Own your life path. Own it. Own your life. Here comes Leo. Leo's about owning it. Own it. Set boundaries. This is about love. Money matters. Continue to meet with the red and amber lights this week. So Pisces, Mercury, begin to retro shadow. Venus remains in retro shadow. Consolidation, working with what you have, bringing in that energy. The angels are there to bring you in the guidance and protecting you on your journey, allowing that you are that connection to the divine, to God, to the universe, coming in and allowing that to come in. You have Neptune there. Utilize that energy. Bring that in. Allow yourself to sit with that energy to come in. It is rebuilding time, in other words. Property dealings may come into alignment. This may not apply if you are moving back somewhere, but there's family matters that are coming in. Things are coming in. Aries is bringing in, Aries, Mars rules Aries, bringing in some fire. There's a lot of fire there for you, getting you to ignite, getting this ignition going. With this North Node and Vesta coming in, is meeting up there. This is all bringing in some deep feelings for you and are asking to be taken on and allowing for you to look at your domestic tasks or expect it or care for somebody or care for someone that's around you. This is about looking at things that are in your chart. That 11 to 19 degrees is very important. Look at that in your chart, and where this moon is lying with the Gemini Virgo. What is that energy coming in for you? This is about the web of your life. What is that web that you're weaving? Right? What is that web? And looking at that, and you may feel at the same time vulnerable, but this is also looking at your emotional strengths. I feel like there is such a transformation or changes that are coming in, but you are having to speak up for what has been unfair in your life and taking responsibility for that and looking at the things in your dreams and your expectations and starting to really start, where do I want to put those in place? Where do I want to start to go into it? It is emotional. There's emotion coming in. There's looking at your emotional self, setting forward onto that path of what it is that you soul desire, bringing it in along with that fire. So allowing yourself to come in with it all and bringing that forth so that you can have that beautiful alignment. So Pisces, there is some beautiful energy coming in for you, but if you are not being able to say no before, saying it now could simply rebalance your life in your favor. So if you haven't been able to say no to something, now's the time to look at it. It's like, nope, I'm sorry, I'm not going that way. I'm going this way. This is what's in my alignment, not what you think. It's what I think, what I know, my connection. This is part of my dream. This is where I want to go. Somebody may not want you to go, or somebody may not want you to stay there and they want to keep you hostage. But I'm just like, nope, you gotta go. You gotta go. Pisces, you got to go and you got to do what you need to do. And yes, here we come. Last but not least, Gemini. Gemini, 2 weeks into your birthday month. Woo! Sun is about to cross paths with Venus, and who's 2 months after returning is heading back over to old ground. So the last 2 times that Venus in retrograde, Venus has not been here for 8 years. This is huge for you. This is huge for you, Gemini. Looking at this, what is it for you with this energy? Plus you have the North nodes there for making in transformation and change. The Sun and Venus align once a year, and once every 4 years will this happen in Gemini. So, but only once every 8 years while the planet of love is in retrograde motion. So she hasn't done this in 8 years. And it's a ladder that begins today with a rare chance for not only the Sun, the reality checks, Venus, desires, expectations. Here it comes, taking this energy of the past, present, and future as well. This is a chance for you to create that future and that past. Woo! Full moon. acts like a mirror. Someone reflects back at you your innermost feelings about yourself. Look closely, Gemini. Look at this reflection. What do you see? Neptune's coming in. Illusions. Illusions. What is it? What are you longing for? What is it that you are wanting? What are you desiring? Starting to look at it. Take care of your cash. It's time for you to take care and adjust. Change in reflections. Begin with self-love. Look at that. Bring it in. Venus rules this house, retrograde in your first. An eclipse in the partnership zone. Read your monthly forecast. Look at what I sent out for you. I don't know how many. I think I did all Geminis yesterday. I think I did like 5 different recordings for Geminis, and you guys were all basically the same. It's like, wow. So this is like looking at this energy. This is about this rule book has addition. And that one was for July, but I'm saying if you guys have your June one, go back to your June, because as well, putting a hold on your money, you need to be looking at your expectations this week. This is a week. Woo! Bring out celebration. You're worth it. You're worth this energy. You're worth doing this, and it's knowing your true worth. What is your true worth? Right? What is that true worth? What is that energy for you? And this is bringing in the boldness. Boldness comes in. Know your worth. Know your worth. This is about money. This is about value. This is about values, your house. This is have you allowed yourself, others to peg your values and what you earn, or how you look. Have you been being told by other people what the fuck to do? Very on Gemini. But you got to face your shadows with that. You got to ask yourself why. Got to ask yourself why. You got to love it that, if you look at the knife is dripping blood. She's a huntress. She's not going to take bullshit. She's not going to take any crap from anybody. She's going to do what she's going to do. This week is also delivering long-term loves, partners. One relationship with be in focus, but don't jump to any conclusions. The rule book says eclipse is concerned. So if you have a factor, if there's things that are going on, could be very emotional for you. It's time for you to reflect and look in and look at your value and take your time as this image. Take your time and form and reform. So this is adjust that inner reflection accordingly and allow for things to die away, because the death card's coming in for you. It's a death and rebirth. Death and rebirth is coming in. Allowing for that to happen, for the transformation. Allowing for you to know and take time with love. Take time with what you love, with what you deserve, what you feel you deserve. This is about your worthiness. A lot to do with worthiness and money. Looking at your money factor. How are you earning money, and how's money coming in? There you guys go. The end. The end. The end. But yeah, I feel huge transformation. Take time this week to allow yourself to not be pushed around. Don't take anything from anybody, and don't allow anybody to answer for you. And that's the whole thing. And if people have been putting a lot of values on you or a lot of things on you, it's best don't do it. Not this week. This week is really a week of pushing forward into renewal and transformation. Whew! There you guys go. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to book a reading, they are on a sliding scale from $50, $90 to $160. Definitely book in, or I'll try and get you in as soon as I can. And sending you guys out so much love. And we also have Intuitive Shaman starts tonight. I will be setting up the messenger groups shortly for everybody. Blessings, everybody. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you do, in all that you say, and all that you be. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.